I'd like to thank GSA for hosting today's event and providing me with the opportunity to speak with you today. When I think about achieving great things, I think about three core attributes: vision, planning, and effort. A vision without effort is just a dream. Great things are accomplished when you combine all three. That fundamentally is what the technology transformation services are about. Is how do we combine these big, ambitious visions, technology modernization, with the plans and the effort to turn them into reality. I think if you look at the record that they've been able to generate over the last several years, they have a fairly remarkable record of results of achieving just that. First and foremost, TTS is about partnerships. Building partnerships with GSA and other federal agencies, building partnerships between feds and term hires brought in from the private sector, building partnerships between your project objectives and the latest and greatest commercial capabilities and vendors. That team mentality builds a culture of working together that can sometimes be missing in government, as we all know. But we're able to break through those artificial silos, those sort of lines on a chart, and build a real culture of teamwork that, again, I think delivers considerably good results based on the record. You know, IT modernization is something that's near and dear to me. I think anyone who's familiar with my own personal record knows that. But I'm also self-aware enough to know that it isn't always the top item on the agenda of the breaking news each and every day. So it's a fair question to say, hey, why, Matt, does this matter so much to you? Why do you think it's so important? I think it's really about two fundamental things. First and foremost, using technology to make government more efficient, effective, and accountable is one of those rare policy areas that actually brings people together. We're in a time when it seems Washington can agree on nothing, and yet even people who have really passionate disagreements about so many issues are just as passionate that they agree that this is a good one and we should work together to make it happen. As you may know, it has extensive bipartisan support on Capitol Hill, has extensive support between diverse perspectives of all kinds. And so I believe that's important, since we have that rare opportunity to respond to that faith, to prove that that kind of unity and that kind of collaborative spirit can work even in Washington today. More important than that, this work is about fundamentally improving people's lives. You know, the technology is great, but this isn't about getting the latest gizmo in the hands of our agencies. This is about leveraging technology to do our missions better. And when I think about how easy some of these changes would be to make in the private sector, it may take a couple hours to update a simple web form. The value add for us is that, yeah, as we all know, it might take longer. Something that maybe would take a few hours in the private sector will take days, weeks, or even months. But once it's done, something as simple as updating a web form will improve the daily lives for millions of people who rely on these programs and services. And so using the latest technology, which is very cool and I enjoy, to do something that important, you know, how can that not get you excited? So that's the why of IT modernization. That's the why we do. That's why we do what we do, and why I think it's so important. I'd like to talk at a very high level about the how, and how TTS works at sort of this fundamental level. I've already touched on their desire to build partnerships, but there's two fundamental aspects. First, institutional capability for change management. There's no reason that we should learn the same lesson twice. TTS has built remarkable partnerships with places like USDA, HUD, the Pentagon, many others. And each time, they learn something new about how to make the process work better, faster. And each time, they're applying those lessons back to kind of their general capabilities. This institutional capability for change management is something the government needs, and it's something that can help your agency succeed faster than if you were to do it alone. Second aspect is that TTS is about more than just technology, for that middle word, transformation. And what that means in government is knowing how to do HR right, knowing how to do procurement right, knowing how to do the legal review process right. And obviously, as the TTS team knows, this is something we encounter every single day. And so the expertise exists not only in the technology, but also in working with agencies to master these administrative support functions and accelerate our ability to achieve results. So that combination of the institutional capacity for change management, both in terms of the technology, but also the broader support and administrative functions, is very unique, and I think it's tremendous value add to the agency projects that they've worked on. You know, I think that there's a real opportunity to make a fundamental difference in how each agency achieves their mission. And it's only going to be achieved if we work together, break down the silos, and build that change management capacity. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you for caring enough about that subject to participate in a conference like this today, to listen to my remarks for a few minutes, and to share and showcase the results that you've been able to achieve at the agency level, working with your partners at TTS. Just know that myself and my entire team stand ready to help you. This is something we believe very passionately in supporting. As I mentioned, that is not unique to us. I think it is something that is very widespread, and you're not in it alone. And working together, we can really do something we can be proud of for the rest of our lives. So thanks again for your time, and I look forward to seeing some more of the results in the years ahead. Thank you.